Strange things have been afoot.
Story of my life.
Indeed. Story of both of ours, it seems. I am not certain how much of this is mine to give, so I'll beg your patience while I figure it out. I have yet to discuss at length with my friends.
May I at least attempt to ask you an unrelated question then?
Yes.
Have you come closer to finding a solution to your problem?
None yet. The steps I have made are few. What is your intent with the artifact?
Are you referring to the Eye of Andraste
Yes,
itself?
the eye. What is your intent? I know you can use it to assist me, but what then?
She says, the Eye of Andraste has allowed me to help many people with what ails them. Since I lost it, I feel that I have not been able to provide the proper service to help people as I have before.
I see.
She says, I will admit that part of it is completely financial. It was my main form of income, our main form of income. But I do have a personal stake in it as well, other than that.
Really?
I myself would benefit greatly from it as well, because I myself, believe it or not, as ironic as it is, have also been cursed.
What is the nature of your curse?
She chuckles a little bit. Oh, it's a rather nasty one. Something that has prevented me from enjoying the greatest thing, the greatest treasure that there is in Thedas.
One person's treasure is not another. What is yours?
Of course, such a treasure can also be someone's curse in and of itself, depending on how it's used.
Of course.
It is a cursed arrow, said to be Dalish in nature, forged by one of the old gods of the Dalish themselves. I was struck with such an arrow, and since then, there are myths that have said that entities of love go around shooting people with arrows in order to spread love all about. You probably have heard of such
Of
stories or
course.
myths. They're
Yes,
not
yes.
very classical, but, they've been around. This arrow does the opposite. Now, it doesn't necessarily invoke hate, per se, but it does cut off the person from the capacity to love.
That's awful.
Sure, I have the ability to care for people. I'm attached to people, and I like to think that I love people in the sense for their safety, my people are themselves. But myself, of course, while I am under this curse, I unfortunately do not have the ability to fall in love or return love to someone else. I was looking back at your friend back there. She's referring to Hugh.
Okay.
My condition, as much as I would pity the tranquil, I'd like to argue that mine is worse. I don't have the ability to be content. I actually think that such a loss of a very joyous thing in life is quite a bit of a shame.
It is a shame. And the eye can help you as well.
I try to fill the void as much as I can, but of course, the carnal enjoyments can only take you so far.
Of course. How did the eye come to be stolen? I know you told me it was taken by the hand of the divine. How did that come to be?
It wasn't stolen, it was confiscated.
Yes.
The left hand of the divine did not deem that such a piece, or at least the divine herself, did not believe that such a piece should be used by the common folk. I imagine that they are placing it in some sort of museum, never to be used for the benefit of the people of Thedas. I guess you can kind of imagine my opinion.
Of course.
My strong opinion of this.
I
Let me
can
ask you
imagine.
something.
Please.
Let me ask you something, Haliserre. I have recognized you to be a woman of the faith, of course.
Of course.
You'll have to excuse me. I wouldn't consider myself unbelieving. More agnostic, if anything. Mostly because I guess I am not afraid of religion in and of itself, but it is organized religion and what they decide to do or enforce in the name of their gods, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
What are your thoughts on that? Especially if the divine herself is preventing something that, again, could help serve others, which I thought a good bit of the Andrastian religion tries to teach its followers.
You know very well by now that I am not a typical sister of the faith. I believe I cannot judge until I understand the why of it. Because, as you say, if this relic has the potential to help many people, it would be a dire need indeed to take it away. And although a good deal of my brothers and sisters may live by the very word of the chant, a great many also, I would hope, follow the spirit of it. And I do not believe that the divine would harm a great many of people by removing this unless there was some reason. What if every time another relic was used, someone somewhere else died? What if in saving one you are harming many more? Maybe that is a reason. Until I understand why, I don't know. Maybe it does belong in a museum. I will find the truth of this. If I can help you, I will.
Very well. In that case, I was wondering, since you know what our situation is,
Yes.
would you be open for me to join you in hopes of finding out this truth, whether it be through the divine or from the left hand of the divine himself, Leoldin?
And she takes a long moment and kind of gives Violetta the hairy eyeball, trying to suss out if that's really everything you're about. If this is what you want, I have no qualms, but please understand again, it is not my decision alone. But my answer is yes, for myself.
Very well, she says. I, of course, do not want to intrude, but I figured if I'm going to do a favor for you, it would be rather nice if perhaps I could have a favor in return.
Now, do not be greedy. We have already exchanged favors. Your secrets and mine. Stay your secrets and mine. But
Of course.
this is the right thing to do. So I will fight for the answer to be a yes, as long as you do not betray my people.
She says, quite frankly, that I find your people to be rather lovely.
As do I.
In fact, I find all of your people to be lovely, she says.
Yes, we are a very pretty lot.
Even the mysterious one, she says, as you can imagine, referring to Razakale.
Sure. Yes, indeed.
But I sense that they are uncomfortable around me, which I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised.
Yes, not many people are comfortable in the surroundings in which you have made yourself comfortable. And of course, more people are quick to judge.
Many people are uncomfortable about things that they do not understand. I
Indeed.
think I saw that firsthand in the dwarven school.
What are your thoughts on that?
To be quite honest, she says, I have not completely come to a final decision on that. I have to admit, it's rather intriguing. I would be very. The one aspect of it that I do not agree upon is is afflicting it on children in particularly. I have rather a bit of a soft spot for the young ones.
As do I.
They have very impressionable minds for a reason.
Indeed.
When you work in hex magic, there's an art to it. Hex magic deals with a lot of chaos, she says, which is why with such power, one needs to be very, very careful about the responsibility involving that power. Using it in the hands of children who have not had the opportunity to develop such ideals, to them, right and wrong is merely black and white. They haven't quite figured out the areas of gray. That's the realm of my magic. More gray than black versus white.
Of course.
I don't think that they are ready to handle such abilities. That's the only problem I have with the whole thing.
I understand. I trust in my companion's judgment on this. Though if I had my way, I'll be honest, I would sit there for hours on end and find out more.
Always seeking the truth.
Yes.
She finishes pitching her tent, and I don't know if Theobin is going to be doing anything. Hugh is still there. Kenna, I'm sure, is probably turning in early. We'll say she's turning in early for the night. Maybe she gathered a few
Sure.
berries or something to snack on before bed.
Yeah. Perfect.
Did Theo hear any of that?
Do you want to hear any of that by rolling a perception?
I've already done
Little
one.
sneaky figurative.
What is it? And what is it?
17.
Yeah, you heard the whole
You
conversation.
heard everything.
You heard everything.
He's my little eavesdropper. So, after they're done talking, I suppose Theo would situate himself next to Haliserre, though he wouldn't really say much.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Would
Haliserre would start. She actually has the supplies for a personal tent, and she starts, setting up her own. Do you have a
Haliserre?
tent? Yes.
No, he doesn't. Oh my god, he's the worst rogue ever.
It's alright.
Either that or the best rogue. Oh.
Andrea has only frivolous things.
Okay, so no, I don't have a tent, actually.
Really, this is more of a one-person tent, but if you need,
That's
we
fine.
can share it, or if you need it, you can have it. I will be all right.
Hugh pipes up and says, I can make a tent for you as well if you need one, Theobin.
Thank you, Hugh.
Yes, thank you.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Appreciate it.
Dear Lord, he's so thoughtfully charming, Violetta says.
So cool.
Ah, why does he have to be tranquil? Violetta says.
The best ones always are.
Hugh will take out his, since nobody said no, Hugh is going to take out his paint and he's going to start painting a tent.
Yay.
It'll look identical to Haliserre's.
Fantastic.
My apologies, Theobin. I could make one just like Miss Violetta's, but that would use up a lot more paint.
Yeah, that's fine, Hugh. I'm used to roughing it.
Oh, yes. Many colors and many strokes. As opposed to just, a rectangular triangle. A triangular pyramid. That's pretty easy.
Done.
He's gonna wait till he and Haliserre are kind of alone in space.
Sure. So just the two of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
Haliserre,
Yes.
know that I do trust you,
All right.
perhaps more than anyone else in this party. But I have to know if you're keeping any secrets from us.
I am.
And I'm not talking like, doing it with your second cousin at a party. I'm talking like stuff that affects the group.
She's still wrapping her mind around doing it with second cousin. Blah.
I don't need to know everything. I need to know all your secrets.
Do that.
Depends
Touche.
on
I have many questions.
Keeping it all in the family. Keeping it all in the cast.
It depends on how much we've had to drink. That's all. If there is a mission, if there is something that you're looking to get out of being with this group that we're not aware of, considering how honest the rest of us have been, is there something that you want to tell me?
I deeply doubt that the secrets I hold would affect the group. However, the only thing that might affect the group is that I'm looking for an artifact that was taken from Violetta by the left hand of the divine.
What kind of artifact?
It is called the Eye of Andraste. It has helped her in the past. And here she gives Theo the hairy eyeball. I am expecting you to hold my secret. Swear on your stone.
By the stone. I will not repeat a word without your permission.
Thank you. I am cursed, Theoban. And here she shows her bronze symbol of Andraste.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cursed.
This is stuck to me. I cannot take it off. It was a gift from the miners I saved from this very mine. And it is killing me.
Haliserre, how did this happen?
I don't know. That's how I came to meet the princess. We keep each other's secrets, but I don't mind sharing mine. She needs the eye to figure out how long I have left to live. And I have already told her that depending on the use and depending on why it was taken from her to begin with, it will either stay with the divine or be returned.
So you don't know when you're going to...
No, I don't. All I know is that in the several months since it has happened, my skin has darkened considerably.
Months? This happened months ago?
Yes.
Haliserre, I'm so sorry.
Do what you can in the time you have. It is what the prophetess did.
And the left hand of the divine has this artifact.
Yes. So, if this artifact might help others, not just myself, has in the past, potentially will in the future, but again, I don't know why. So, I'm going to find out the why.
How does this fit in with your plans to go to Orzammar? This seems quite a digression from your mission.
Some things are more important than the life of one person. You know that.
The world would truly be at loss without one like you, Haliserre.
Thank you. Well,
This should be priority for you, because think of the good you can do.
we can all do a lot of good, Theo. It is just, what time do you have to do it in?
And Violetta, what does she get out of this?
With the eye returned, she has helped people in the past. She may help people in the future. And with this help, her entire people flourish.
When you say she has helped people, you mean
Yes.
her people.
No. Well, her people and others. I am not of those people, yet here I am.
It has undoubtedly come to your attention, as it has mine, that she has raised suspicions.
Of course, absolutely.
Do you think they are well founded?
If I was to jump to conclusions, Razakale would be dead. And Andrea would probably have been marched back to his circle. But that is not the path I walk. I follow Andraste. I do not follow the chant.
I share your aversion to face judgments. It's very easy to tell people what they should and shouldn't be.
Yes. In times of darkness, certainly the light may shine forward, but it is never light versus dark, and sometimes an ally is in the gray. I have already made my intents clear to Violetta, as she has expressed an interest in following us.
Following us.
She
To
has her own truths to discover with the eye. And that being said, I have made it clear to her that if she puts anyone in danger, any of you, she will face me.
She wants to come with us to Orzammar.
She wants to come with us until we are able to see for ourselves the artifact, the eye. She is not...
We don't know how long that business will take.
True. We don't know how long any of this will take.
You realize she will need the approval of the whole group.
Of course. I have told her as much, but I've also told her that I will speak for her. If you were to ask me if I trust her implicitly, the answer is no, of course not. But I have a feeling we're going to need all the allies that we can get. And until anyone turns against us or gives us reason enough to doubt, I would not question a blessing that the Maker has sent us. But I'm not the only one. That it is at the judgment of the group and not just mine.
Indeed. Thank you for being honest with me, Haliserre. And
of course.
You can rest assured that there will be nothing that you have said to me that will be repeated to anyone.
I thank you. Do not worry, Thea. We will make good of this yet.
I am not worried, just as long as the group stays, not hostile. I wouldn't go
Agreed.
as far to be friendly, but
All things in time.
is there anything that you wish to do? You know, if I were
I could very much enjoy a drink, but I don't think you happen to have a casket of ale on you.
Of course I do. Not a casket of ale, but I do have drink. Now,
Let's
hang
do
on.
that.
Which was
You're not
the
about to
poison?
poison me, are you?
No, I'm going to count. Right, poison was 3.
Great.
So 1, 2. And he shuffles around with his bottles. Okay, this is probably not poison. So, there you go.
Okay. And she'll drink it. Why not? Please don't poison her.
No, it wasn't poison, don't worry. And Thea's going to take a swig of his as well. So, yes, I guess those two will just drink and talk
We'll
for
just
the night.
spend the night drinking.
Yeah!
I think Hugh is going to start getting himself ready for bed. You will see that Violetta has started putting up. They almost look like dream catchers, but they're not quite dream catchers. But she's putting them up on various areas around the camp. And when she is done with that, she starts to she sits on one of the logs, and she pulls out what appears to be it's like a lute kind of thing, and she strums it a little bit, a very, very soft melody. Nothing too upbeat, just something that sort of gets people into a calming sort of mood. Hugh, you watch as he's just listening to this music, and he's just staring at Miss Princess Violetta while she's strumming this tune to herself with the lute.
Theo did have something else he wanted to ask Haliserre after he's had a few.
Sure. After a few.
No, nothing like that. Oh my god, no. Your boobs have gone smaller. You're no good.
Dang.
I said you're gonna be. They're still taller than you.
I am so joking. I love you. I'm so joking. Okay, back into character. What's it like to know that you might not be here tomorrow? Is there anything that you regret? Is there anything you want to do before you die? Is it painful?
It's not painful. It's strange, but it's not painful.
To face your mortality, I can't imagine.
All things in this world are finite. What one man gains, another has lost.
If you knew that tomorrow you wouldn't wake up, what would you do tonight?
I think if I knew tonight was the last night, I would find the place of greatest need, and I would create my own glorious funeral pyre.
He chuckles a little at that. You are so noble, Haliserre. I truly admire you.
Thank you. To answer your other question, I have few regrets in this world because I speak when I speak and I act as I act. To do less would be unfair to myself and those all around me. I am not nearly drunk enough to have this full conversation.
Well, you could drink more. I'm pretty sure that only 2/5 are poison.
I will take that bet.
Kind of like Russian roulette with poison with Theo. Okay, that's all the conversation that he wanted to have, so they
Okay.
can just drink and have their night.
Yeah.
Okay. Realistically, on either side, would anyone actually keep watch for the night?
She totally would.
She totally would.
Cedric
Nothing
would.
like drunk
Cedric would.
Haliserre on watch.
All right. Are you taking shifts out of curiosity?
It would be wisest.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the order of the shifts on both sides?
She will take first watch because Theo's had a day, so he probably
Okay.
needs some sleep.
That's fine with him.
Okay. Who would take second watch after Haliserre? Just out of curiosity. I'm sure Hugh would volunteer to take watch at some point.
Sure. I would try to get the others to keep watch first to let Theo have as much sleep as he needed.
No.
Okay, so would you want Hugh to go second?
Please.
Okay, and then Theoben would get last.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking you'll only need 3 watches, really. How about
Okay.
on the other side?
Well, Cedric would volunteer to watch. I don't know if anyone else would want to do guard duty.
Razakale would probably volunteer second if Andrea doesn't. If Haliserre and Cedric can make their perception checks, spot or seeing, or I mean, spot or hearing, whatever is higher for the two of you.
Sure.
Nope.
Oh, no!
I have not had such a bad roll in a very long
Trusted
time.
you.
I trusted myself. I'm done. Who cares?
It's the
Cedric?
drinking.
12 with a stunt of 5.
I got her drunk and now she's a terrible watch.
And what was Rachel's?
5.
It's a whopping 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that I thought I should reiterate the emotion that Andrea was feeling wasn't anger, it was fear. So, just so you know, I don't know if that means anything to you, but just for Hark.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. It can be interpreted as anger.
Yeah, I feel like the other players probably saw it that way, but just so you know, it was fear.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, you
All
did
right.
say to the party it was anger, agitation.
Yes.
It sound. That's why I wanted to correct myself,
Mhm.
sort of, because she left you guys with the impression that she was angry, but she,
Maybe it was
scared.
anger derived from fear.
maybe, yeah.
Oh, those complex emotions.
So we're going to begin with the right side of the map. You're going to see 2 separate groups in this one map if you need to zoom out.
Oh, cool.
It is nighttime, so the only thing you can see right now is from the glow of the fire. All right?
Right.
Now,
Can I use my stunt points, or does it not
yes, you
matter?
may. We're going to
Okay.
start with Cedric because he was the one who had the higher of the 2 rolls.
I want to use the that makes me wonder stunt, which is 3 points, and it just makes I re-roll at no additional cost for time or resources, and it gives me additional information if there is any additional information about my surroundings.
Okay.
And I also want to use efficient search, which is 2. I think that I'm just assuming that makes me look better. I don't know.
Yeah, Cedric, you always look better.
Kevin the stunt guy. So cute.
That's a 15 for the that makes me wonder stunt.
All right, and that just give extra information of your surroundings.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. So.
Or the object of your test. So since I'm
Okay.
scanning for bad things.
Yeah. So there are unfriendly things in this forest. As I said, the Wending Wood is filled with sylvan energy, and so some of the things in here could be things like enchanted trees or things of that nature. There are also night predators, as you can imagine, based on the behavior of Mr. Opossum. So the opossum was kind of hanging out for a little bit, munching on some of the fruit, and just before you noticed, through your perception, something, the ears of the opossum perks up a little bit, and then he kind of like looks in one direction. The direction that he looks, Cedric, is in this direction, is the head where his head turns,
Okay.
before the possum scurries and runs into your tent.
Cedric would.
Mages and bears and darkspawn. Oh my.
You believe that if this was a creature that was sylvan in nature, you don't think that the opossum would have reacted that way. The opossum would more react that way if it recognized a predator. Or two, or more.
That was ominous.
Yes, Cedric would go over and wake up Razakale since she can see in the dark. Just
Okay.
to see.
Go ahead. You we'll roll a. What would that be to successfully wake somebody up? I guess strength.
Happy.
16. Okay. So you'll be able to efficiently wake her up, and Razakale, as soon as you wake her up, she kind of throws her body up, and then she looks around and say, "What happened?"
Cedric would just point over in the direction that the possum was looking and say, "What do you see?"
She looks over and she squints a little bit as she looks into the darkness, and she says, "Something moving, big, like bear."
That's all Cedric needs to hear. He'd wake up Andrea as well.
I'd be like, whoa, what's up? Someone's waking me. What?
There's something moving in the woods, and it's big, like
Razakale pulls out her whip.
out big.
Okay.
Cedric Already had his weapon out, but okay.
All right. Well,
Yeah, he did.
I'd like to say, okay, well, we should probably have some sort of light, right? So I cast flaming weapons. So our weapons are all like act as torches.
If anyone's following what's happening with Razakale, her eyes are moving and she's turning her head. She's like sort of looking like, she's turning around slightly. And as she's saying, circling.
That's not good. Awesome. Hey, guess what? I just had a magical mishap.
Oh, nice. So I think you have to roll for that.
Stop it! Yeah, there is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
So roll the mishaps.
No. Uh-oh.
Okay, it's a 1d6, I think.
Oh God, please.
And tell us what
Yeah,
happens.
Sorry, everybody.
4.
Okay,
It's not a 6.
it's a misfire. So,
Mhm.
the spell effect occurs, but targets an ally. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. An ally or an
Well,
rather
would
than
the
an enemy.
would the opposite happen then? It would give the enemy.
Yeah, I would say the enemy. I will say that you misfire and then the energy goes so that it applies its properties to the enemy instead. So what does the property do?
Okay,
at least it gets lit up. No.
I was gonna say that's kind of a good thing. I mean, it adds a 1d6 to his attack's fire, but we can see him because
Yeah.
his claws would be lit on fire. So
Yeah, so you would suddenly see claws here, right in this spot, but it's circling around you. I'm gonna have everyone roll for initiative, please. Because Cedric was able to arouse the other two, they do not. The creatures do not get a surprise round, and I will let Cedric go first. He can see a creature here. Razakale gave the impression that there was more than one.
Yeah. Cedric will do a defensive stance. Isn't that what it's? Yeah.
Okay.
And then he will say to Raz, Zakale, and Andrea, don't leave the light, don't go into the darkness. Stay as a group.
Go into the darkness, Razakale says. Roll a communication. Roll a communication.
Oh, no. That's adorable.
To see if Razakale understands. Oh, okay. So you think that Razakale, understood what you said when she says, "Go into the darkness," and so, yes. So you do your full-on stance.
Yeah,
Okay.
defense. So that ups my defense by 2.
Okay. Razakale is going to take her whip, and she will whip it towards the direction of the creature. You don't see it actually impact the creature. It seems to wrap around somewhere up in the air, and she swings into the darkness. That will be her turn.
It's probably not what you wanted her to do, right?
No. Damn.
I'm gonna put heroism on Cedric. So he gets 6 extra health.
Nice.
And then well, I can see where it is because of the fire.
You can.
Right? So
Yes,
can
it's right here.
Can I shoot it?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's that close to me.
Yes, it is.
I would like to sidestep away from that. Just. And then, yes, I would like to shoot it.
That will hit his defense if that's an attack roll.
Yep, that's an attack roll.
Roll for damage.
Okay.
7. Okay.
Let me get these rolls, man.
The creatures will then go. This one will. One will try to attack Cedric. What is your defense, Cedric?
14. Since I'm in a defensive stance, yeah, 14.
That will hit.
Damn.
Okay. So the first one, will you feel something hit the back of your neck, Cedric, from behind you, and you can feel a stinging in the back of your head, almost like little tiny barbed things are digging into the back of your neck, and it's some sort of caustic acidic thing that hits you, dealing 7 points of penetrating acid damage. Acid damage.
If only we could do master talents, that would have not been a problem at all.
Yeah. The other one tries to pounce at you. This creature comes over and tries to pounce on top of you, but does not manage to connect. He snaps his maw towards your direction, but you're able to dodge out of the way before it is able to penetrate through your armor.
Okay.
Haliserre's side.
Well, I mean, he opens up, but realistically he'd be sleeping because he wasn't taking the watch, so...
Let's see. 3 of you are in a tent. 1 of you is... I'm sorry, 3 of you are in a tent, 2 of you are out in the open. So, let's see. There is going to be 2...
I
what
thought
is your
didn't Hugh make a tent for Thea?
He did. You're inside the tent right now.
Okay, right.
Thea, yeah, you're in a tent. McKenna's in a tent, and Violetta's in a tent. You get, what is your defense, Haliserre?
Hallie's defense is a 15.
Nice.
Yeah, meat shield.
One of the spit, they're spitting out like globs of acid, misses you. The other one, however, manages to catch the side of your arm, and again dealing 10 points of penetrating caustic damage. And again, it almost feels like a very nasty, I would say a really nasty jellyfish sting, if you've ever been stung by jellyfish. It's not
I've
pleasant.
not. Very vivid imagination, though.
The other one pounces on top of Hugh and
Oh, no.
attacks Hugh in his sleep, which is not good for him.
There will be a price to pay if you die.
He doesn't have Cedric to protect him anymore, so since Hugh is asleep, that's going to be a hit.
The wrath.
The Hugh Drake people will be very disappointed.
Yeah.
8 points of damage to Hugh.
Ah.
I guess he jumps on top of Hugh and he actually bites into his leg, the same leg that he got hit with before.
Oh no!
That's messed up.
Hugh scribs out in pain as like blood splurts out.
Oh no!
I just fixed that leg.
No. Theobin, roll a perception roll. I want to see if this wakes you up.
Okay, can I use my hearing focus?
Yes, please. With Hugh
Yeah.
crying out, like yelling
Yeah,
out.
I would
It's not
hope
that.
so.
It's not that difficult of a.
Yeah, well, hopefully then.
This will be more of how quickly it is that you. Oh, that's a stunt like any other.
Oh, yay!
So yes. So not only do you hear it, but you're able to wake up almost instantly without feeling super groggy.
Okay.
And with that, I will let you use one free action now.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let you do the other action.
But when you say free action...
Or I will let you use one standard action. You can make one standard action now, but that's all I'll let you do. It's a single standard
right,
action.
okay. Well, I mean, Theo's instinct will be to get that thing off of Hugh. So, can I attack it?
I would say unless you sleep with your crossbow, hugging your crossbow, I would say no. You'd have to pull your
Okay.
crossbow out, which would be, I would let you do that as a standard action.
Okay, so he'll get his weapon out then.
You'll need at least 6 seconds to assess the situation after waking up, so I wouldn't let you attack then and there after being asleep.
Yeah, that's fine. So he's gonna hurtle into action and look for his bow, and he's gonna grab it. And that'll be
Okay.
it.
Haliserre.
Okay. Okay, so she is. Somebody's hurting Hugh, so she is going to charge right at it in the hopes of. Is there something she can do to say. Try to. This is. Big as a bear, correct?
Yeah, it's a large
Alright.
creature.
So it's not really a case of rip it off of him. It's more like a case of try to barrel into it and take its attention.
Yeah.
So I guess that's going to be a charge then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she will draw and charge, and as she is doing so, she is going to call out, "We are under attack!"
Okay.
I noticed.
Thank you. Okay, so that, because it's a charge, is going to be that plus 1. That is a 13 to hit.
That will hit the creature. Yes, that will hit it. Are you moving your character?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Since it is a charge, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going right there.
Okay. I don't think you can go onto its space.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Yeah.
Thank you.
The only reason he's on Hugh's space
yeah,
is
he's on
because he's
Hugh,
on top.
okay.
He's on top of him.
Sure.
Yeah, chomping on his
Okay.
leg.
It's a place we don't like to be.
Yes.
Oh.
What? Did I say something?
No, of course not. So yeah, it is her intent to barrel into it so that it will hopefully attack her instead of you.
Okay.
And so damage on that. That is going to be
10?
10 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Hugh is yelling out in pain, and he's trying to. One arm is trying to hold up onto the creature's neck so it doesn't bite down into his face, and the other part is like scrambling, like to try to reach for his paintbrush. His paintbrush is like not within reach of him, so he can't do anything at the moment. That's his turn. Princess Violetta, as soon as Haliserre yells we're being attacked, you see a light turn on within the tent. A violet light turn on within the tent. We will go now with Cedric, back to the top of the initiative order again.
Excellent. I want to first tell Andrea to deal with the one behind me.
This one behind you? Where?
He's just gonna point, say, like, deal with the one behind me, and then he's going to.
Can you legit point? Because I can't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna point to
looking
where
at all the
where he thinks like he got stung.
Right.
The
Is
singer.
that like here or?
It's more like in this direction, relatively speaking.
I can't see. 1 second. Oh, over there.
Really,
Something
yeah.
stung you from way over there. Oh man.
And then he's going to aim and attack this one, the creature that's right next to him.
Oh no! Critical fail. Critical fail.
He's good at getting
All
those.
Cedric, you try to you take your polearm and you try to jab into the creature. The creature dodges out of the way, and instead of jabbing into it, you jab into the ground next to him, and your polearm gets stuck, implanted into the ground, giving a chance for the creature to take an attack of opportunity on you.
We're so good.
I'm gonna give you a minus penalty to your defense. You said your defense is what again?
12. Since I'm guessing I'm not doing a defense stance.
I'm gonna give you a minus in your defense, so you're gonna take some damage from this as he tries to claw you, dealing 10 points of damage that you can resist with your armor.
10?
10 points of resistible damage. Remember your temporary hit points as well, by the way.
Yeah. I think that's all I can do.
That's all you can do. In order to pull it out, you're going to have to use a might roll to pull your polearm out. Otherwise, you're going to have to think of something else to use as a weapon. Razikale. She is going to lash out her whip. The whip will wrap around the foot of the creature and pulls it 1 square closer to her and away from Cedric. And it does... That attack does... 10 points of damage to it. Andrea, before you start, I would like for both Cedric and Andrea to roll perception hearing rolls, please.
Oh gosh. That's not good. 9.
Oh wow, you guys are great.
Suddenly I don't feel so bad.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Andrea. Do your normal turn then.
Okay, sweet deal. Well, I heard something was probably in this area.
Yes.
Up here. So, I'm going to do shock because it takes a 6x6 square area. So even though I can't see it, hopefully I get it.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess start here and then just go 6 squares this way or whatever. 6 squares back.
Okay.
Hope it works. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, finally got a good one.
I hope that hits.
Yeah, that definitely hits my target. So, it can do a Constitution stamina roll versus my spell power, which is 18.
16, not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
Alright. So here is the damage.
8?
8.
You're right next to Cedric. So when you cast this electricity spell, Cedric, your bracer starts to glow yellow, just as an FYI.
Sweet!
Oh, jeez.
And that's the end of your turn.
Yep.
The creatures. This creature is trying to snap at Cedric. He's just out of reach, well, barely out of reach, so I'm going to say that even though you're still stuck with your pole arm, I'll use your normal defense instead of your reduced defense for this. That'll definitely hit. Cedric, you'll take another 8 points of damage that you can resist with your armor. The creature is now going to try to spit. No, I don't think he'll try to spit. I think he's going to actually charge and try to pounce on top of Andrea.
Oh my!
He's going to achieve it!
What is your defense, Andrea?
11.
Yeah.
God,
He'll pounce. She has. Andrea is now pinned, and you will take 11 points of resistible damage. Resistible damage.
That hurts a lot.
Haliserre, your defense?
My defense is 15.
1 hit. 2 hits.
Stop!
And then 1 will try to bite at you.
I think you
Alright,
just want
guys,
some
gods.
Miss. Okay, so
Fine,
one
This is how it should be.
spit hits Haliserre. Dealing 8 points of damage to Haliserre. 8 points of caustic, non-resistible damage to Haliserre.
Oh no.
Oh. We're all
The
gonna
other one-
die.
The other one does another 8 points of non-resistible damage. This one actually jumps on top of the tent, on top of Theobin's tent, and then does the spit attack. Theobin, the top of your tent is starting to shake.
Not cool, man.
And the last one tries to snap away from Hugh and snap instead at Haliserre.
Good.
The last thing is you hear another roar with a guttural, loud roar coming from this direction.
Oh god.
And it's not coming from any of the other, not coming from those 3.
Hmm.
Oh shit.
I did not see the direction. One more time, please.
To the
Came
north
from
of you.
this
To the
north of
north.
you, north of the
Yeah.
camp.
Alright. Wow. Alright.
Which means that whatever that is, it's rallying the other minions, making them more powerful or more savage.
No!
And is this something that Haliserre can actually figure out for herself? That whatever it is up north, it's going.
Roll cunning.
Let's do that. Cunning, don't fail me now.
12. Yeah. Roll a nature. Roll a nature now. Cunning nature, which is separate.
Yeah, I don't actually think I have a nature, so it's just going to be another
fine.
general. So
Okay.
general's
I'll say that you think because of what your character is built for, you realize that this is some sort of rallying, making these other people powerful kind of thing.
Sure.
Oh dear.
And it's difficult to see ahead.
Yes, unless you have a source of light, like Kenna, who's asleep.
Oh,
Just asleep. She's asleep. Darn it, Kenna. This would be great, but oh well. She's asleep.
How does she sleep through this?
She's a sound sleeper,
Some people,
apparently.
she
Some
sleeps
people.
with a bear.
Yeah, that's
really
true. She does sleep with a bear. Yeah.
She can
This
sleep
is
through anything.
this is all normal. This is all normal for her.
If it
And-
was ideally a problem, then Esbjorn would wake her up. So she's
Yes. She's like, oh, that's fine. It's just all the nighttime
Yeah.
predators that she
And we
sleeps
didn't
amongst all the
bring the
time.
bear.
Sure.
Theobin, you're next.
Okay. Well, he's gonna get to like a point where he has the advantage that he can kind of see both of the creatures. So like he's gonna leave the tent. Remind me, what's the situation with Hugh? Is he being attacked at the moment?
The creature is still on top of Hugh, but it looks like it's now snapping. Currently, it's snapping towards Haliserre, not at Hugh. Hugh is still desperately trying to reach for his paintbrush that's right next to him, but it's too far away. He can't reach it.
Oh god. If I had another action, I would hand it to him, but I don't, so I'm just gonna attack.
Okay.
So I'm gonna attack the one that's just jumped on Theo's tent.
Okay. 16's gonna hit. Roll for damage.
Oh, okay. Sorry, does a bow's focus just apply to attack?
I'm sorry?
A bow's focus, that just applies to attack, right?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like 3 damage.
Okay.
Alright.
you did something. You did something.
Yeah.
Okay, so for free action, she will she'll cry out, "General to the north!" Would love to get some light out there without actually tossing a fireball. Yeah, Kenna.
Yeah, just throw
Now-
a fireball. That's my choice.
Well, no, that won't really work for her so much. So she does have like a torch or a lantern. Actually, she has got both. What kind of action will it be to? I think that's probably going to be at least a full round action to drop sword, grab lantern, whatever, light it. I don't like that. Okay, well, let's start with what will it take to get Hugh his paintbrush?
I would say a move action would allow you to do that.
Alright, so
I'll let
she
you-
will do that.
It's not that far away from him. It's just a few inches from his fingertips. So you can
Okay,
do that
so
as a
yeah,
move.
she will definitely help him with that.
Good
And-
idea, since his turn is next. That's a good idea.
Yes, help him. Okay, I'm
So,
also...
I will move you that way.
Yeah, that's
and I will-
totally fine.
And technically his paintbrush is in the darkness, so I will ask for a perception roll.
Sure.
8?
I'm
Okay.
drunk.
I will let you successfully hand Hugh his paintbrush, but in doing so, you will not have a full standard action. You will have a minor action or swift action, or whatever you call that.
Okay,
In doing
sure.
so,
So to do that, she's going to use that to do an inspiring chant, and I'm going to give that one chant, the one inspiration point to Hugh.
good idea.
Yeah.
I agree.
So perfect, and she will just. As she commands this chant, she will say, "Let the blade pass through the flesh, and let my blood touch the ground. My cries touch their hearts."
Okay. Very nice. So Hugh is enlightened. Nice.
Yeah.
Status. Hugh will grab a hold of the brush that Haliserre gave him. He'll say, "Thanks. and then he'll whack the creature across the face with it. It's gonna be a little tricky because he's prone, so this is gonna be a little tricky for him. But it's still possible. Ugh. No, unfortunately. Oh no, that hits it. That hits him. Good. 9 points of damage to the creature, and he will roll a might to try to get the creature off of him.